Welcome back to the show, everyone. This is probably going to be the last installment of the Booked Out Cleaner series. So with me today, I've got Seb and David from BCA Commercial Cleaning Services in Gold Coast, Australia. I've actually met these guys at our Booked Out Cleaners Brisbane meetup. They're great guys. They're doing some cool stuff. So it's awesome to have you on the show today to talk about your journey. Guys, could you please introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about how you got into the business?
Absolutely. Look, my name is Sebastian. Thank you so much, Jason, for having us. We've been listening to your podcast for quite a while. And yeah, it's good to be here. First of all, we're not from here, so English is our second language. So if we say something that is not good, or if your audience doesn't understand something, we apologize in advance. But we're going to try and do our best to explain what we did and how we started. Yeah.
That's okay. Your English is great. And so sorry, you guys are from Ecuador originally.
Ecuador, yeah, we're cousins. We started the business 3 years ago. I think this is our third year. We just, July this year, we closed our second financial year. So we're in a way for our third year. We started February 2024. So yeah, we joined Booked Out Cleaners, I think, after 6 months of being on the cleaning business. Yeah, we always thought that we needed some guidance because being from outside and not knowing anyone that you can get yourself to help you, we thought it was good to join the Booked Out Cleaners. We actually, one of the reasons that I started the business is because I saw one of your videos on TikTok.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. And because now you guys are absolutely smashing. I mean, you guys are at $500,000 a year in recurring revenue, and it's actually been a recent development as I've understood. You were sitting at around 250K 6 months ago, and within a 6 month time period, you've pretty much doubled your business. So tell us about that. Yeah. How did you do that? What's changed for you to go from 250 to 500K in such a short amount of time?
Well, I think it was changing the understanding of what a business is, because we came to Australia really young, 17, 18, and we were really stupid. 17, 18-year-old guys trying to build that business. It was just we didn't have any idea. I didn't have any employment before this, so it was straight to reality. And I think
so. This is the first thing you've ever done, even first job you've ever had.
Yes,
he didn't have any job.
Yes, I was useless.
Yeah.
Well, clearly not, because look at what you've done.
I think that's part of the reason why we started as well, because cleaning is one of those things that you don't really need to know much about.
At the
right?
beginning.
Yeah, you can just pick it up and do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Just how it doubled in revenue, I think it was, as I was saying, focusing on what matters on the business. When we were getting started, we focused too much on systems and trying to have automations and good frameworks, procedures to have everything perfect. And we didn't focus on the most important thing, which is sales.
Clients acquisition
and money, because there is no business if there is no money.
But I think I think one of the reasons that we did that is because we were pretty scared, because we didn't know much about. So if you compare from where we're from and the money that you get here, we did 90,000 on our first 6 months of business. So we're gosh, this is getting out of hand. So we thought, and what our parents tell us, you should be careful, try to have things in place. So we actually stopped acquiring clients for about 8 to 10 months. We didn't got any, didn't got any client because we were scared that we're going to lose them. So we started just doing work inside the business and not learning how to do anything getting clients, talk to people, going outside or whatever, just to get clients flowing. We were just getting clients through referrals, but because the business wasn't huge, we didn't got much referrals. It has a ceiling because we were not doing any offerings. We were not doing anything. Really
anything, yeah.
Right. So it's almost that scarcity mindset that was sort of imposed upon you by your family. Because of the traction you'd gotten early on, it actually prevented you from getting any bigger. which is, it's a bit ironic really. So how did you break through that belief system that you had, and what was the transition to go from like, let's just try to keep safe what we've got to then, let's actually grow this thing and start to pump the gas on it?
I think it was luck. Because we met a guy from India, one of those guys that are calling you every single day trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
So we joined the meeting with him, and he offered us to do cold email. So it was like a cold email agency. And I think 1 or 2 days before that, I was listening to Alex Hormozy. And he said, if you have an agency, learn what the agency does and do it yourself. So I said, how much would you charge me to teach me what you would do so I can do it myself? And I remember Sebastian looking at me like, what are you saying? Like, we don't even have that money. So I think he said like 3,500, something like that. And I don't know why I said yes. Like I trusted that guy, and I said yes. We learned it, and probably the first week we started getting leads and closing clients. Actually, our first lead, maybe you remember this, but our first lead was the marina.
Yeah, we jumped on a call with you after that. Yeah.
Yes, and it was like almost $100,000 a year contract that we didn't get, sadly, but there was the opportunity. So we saw the opportunity and we said, this is the way. Cold email is the way.
So what was the actual strategy? How were you doing the cold email? Was it him just teaching you like how you should do it, how you should word these emails, or was he also teaching you how to source the leads? Because I know you did a program inside Booked Out Cleaners for something similar. But what was this one that you learned?
So it is basically the same that you guys, that you showed us on the program. It's basically the same. So we scrape leads, and then we send emails. We have our scripts and everything, and then we do follow-up emails. It's basically the same framework. I think we use a different program for the actual email delivery, but the concept is the same and everything is the same. Actually, I think we use the same scraper.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so for anyone listening that doesn't know, inside my program, there's like a module I did that shows this cold email outreach system where you can scrape businesses on Google according to a certain keyword or search term or business type, like medical centers. And then there's a whole system where you can email these businesses and pretty much just get cleaning quotes that way. So this is how you guys began to like grow beyond that initial 90K client base, just by doing cold outreach.
Yeah.
I think if I can say something, because it's really funny, because we paid $3,500 for this guy to teach us how to do that. And then I remember coming back to your program and watching the scraper module, and I said to myself how stupid I was, because I had the information on my fingertips. Like, because I already paid for your program, I had the information there.
Oh, you just didn't know it was in there.
Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Like, because we have it, we ignore it. So it's like, okay, I have it there. Good. But it's on the action that you actually make money. And because I paid more, now I did take action and I did make money. But the problem is I had the information with you, but I didn't listen.
I love that you said that, because I mean, you guys have probably heard me say on the podcast, like, people that pay attention. Like, if you sell something like that course, there's so many courses in the school, you pay a fee to be in there. It kind of denotes the value of everything in there. So like that course, you're paying the same amount for that as you do for like the really basic courses as well. So if you're paying, like, I could obviously sell it for, $3,500, and everyone that pays that is obviously going to go through it and like religiously follow it. But in your case, you had access to it, but because you didn't really, obviously you didn't have to pay $3,500 for it. You just never really went into it. But that's a good lesson for anyone on business in general. Like with cleaning services, you don't want to be the cheapest in the market. You want to charge good prices because people are going to value what you do. They're going to complain less. They're just going to be better quality customers. Same for like anything you sell. If you want to sell a coaching product, don't sell a cheap one. And don't be stupid like me and sell it for 10 times less than what you probably could do it for. But that's funny. No, I appreciate your honesty there. But look, at least that $3,500 is nothing compared to what it ended up getting you anyway. So
yeah, that's true.
What sort of clients did you start getting from that strategy?
So we're only focusing on commercial cleaning services. We did the transition at first. At first, we went through everything. We wanted to do everything: residential, commercial, one cleaning, one-offs, deep cleanings. But we knew we wanted to like focus on something and get really good at something because we were just everywhere. And then I saw, because you do the model that is like a hybrid business, you do like residential and commercial. And we said, all right, we don't have any problems getting residential because residential is easy to get through word to mouth. And we see less friction in commercials in terms of managing, in terms of sending people to do the work, in terms of cancellations and stuff. So we really went with the less friction-based model and saying, all right, commercial is the way. Of course, it's a bit trickier to get, but that's why we decided just to jump on commercial cleaning, and then we just did commercial. Right now, I think probably a year ago, we had like 70% residential and 30% commercial. By now, we probably is like the other way around. We still do residential, but mainly because a lot of our clients do need residential jobs done, and we don't want them to go anywhere else. So we say, yeah, we do. We still
like the owners of the businesses in these companies.
So we still do residential. Yeah.
Awesome. So, and did you find, obviously you guys, Ecuadorian, how long have you lived in Australia for?
I've been here for 7 years, almost 7 years now. And you?
Almost 3.
Almost 3 years, yeah.
Okay, cool. I know there's
I
some
originally
people...
opened the business by myself.
Yeah.
He joined, I think it was like 3 months after.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he
cool.
started and then I jumped.
Yeah.
I said, let's go, let's do it. I started as an slave.
just as a
so
cleaner.
I was a slave and he was my master. I didn't get paid at first just because.
Oh, you weren't even getting paid.
I was getting equity at first. I would say.
Yeah,
that.
nice. Seb runs a tight ship.
Probably, yeah. Like the first month, I generally didn't get paid. It was all going to equity. I was surviving off my brother, but it was good. It was worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the startup phase. Hey, I mean, it's something you'll look back on and you'll kind of cherish those memories too. Once you're further along. I mean, you guys are already at, $500,000. So, and you've done it in such a short amount of time as well. But look, because there's probably people listening to this as well that are foreign residents in Australia, and I know that there is a bit of a stigma for people that don't speak English natively and whatnot, and it can be a bit of a hindrance. Like it can be difficult to get things going. Did you experience any sort of difficulty or friction when you were trying to start out, not knowing the Australian market and culture and things like that? Was there anything you had to learn?
Yeah, I think you always have to learn stuff in terms of being different, because it's Australia. I had probably what I'm gonna say is not right, but okay. I had one girl coming to me one time, and she had a cleaning business as well, and she asked me, "Oh, how are you going with your cleaning business? Because Australians are so racist. How are you able to get your cleaning business going?" And for me, that's the most racist comment because for her to think that I was not going to be able to do something because they were racist is the only comment that I got, that he was like, what do you mean? Like, everyone's so nice. I think people don't really care where you're from, what color you are or whatever. If you're able to communicate, what are you going to do for them, if you're gonna be able to provide value to them in a way. We have been able, like, we have clients now that I do believe they loved us. We love them as well. Every time they see us, we have a great chat. They ask us, like, how's business going, if we need any advice. Because, like, we sometimes, as cleaning business, we clean houses of people who have money. We get the opportunity to probably have a chat with these type of people that in our day-to-day life, we would not be able to do it because we're not surrounded by that people. So the cleaning business has given us that opportunity to get into the houses, not just meet them, but to get into the houses of that people. They can like talk to us, telling us like, oh, have you tried this for business, or how are you doing with everything? And they care a lot about how we're going. And I do believe most of our clients that we talk to, they're like proud that things are going great. They weren't mad when we increased prices, or they weren't mad when we hired staff and we say, oh, we're not going to clean anymore. Like the staff is going to clean. They're like, oh, so good. You have staff now and you're too young. And no, it's been great. I think if you're able to speak a bit of English, like just the basic, communicate yourself, be a good person. I don't think you need more than that, and be willing to provide some sort of value, not just the regular stuff. That's it. It's been great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's the true Australian culture as well. Sorry to cut you off, but I think that's like, if generally like you have a positive attitude and you show up and you do the work and like you're a friendly person, like everyone's going to respect that and they're not going to give you a hard time. But I think there are a lot of people out there that, like particularly I see there's a lot of contractor businesses, and I've helped some of these people out where, like I was helping this lady out who moved over from somewhere in Asia. And she just didn't really understand the market. And so she charged really, really low prices. And so they got her, obviously, like the lower end of the market. That these are people that are accustomed to paying less and they're just not really the best customers to have. And they didn't treat her very well because they didn't value the service, because she didn't really value her own service. And so it just goes into this negative cycle of bad clients paying bad prices. They complain a lot, yada, yada, yada. And, God forbid you do a price increase, because then they get all mad about that. It sounds like you've positioned yourselves well, and you haven't gone for that tail end of the market where you get these people that pay these low prices that don't treat you well. And maybe that girl that approached you, maybe she's had that experience where she just didn't, know how to price properly, position herself, and had to deal with these bad customers. But Dave, what were you going to say?
Well, wait, too many things. Well, I was going to say, well, don't get us wrong, because we went through that process as well at the beginning, where we had really, really bad clients.
Really bad prices.
And really bad prices. And there was a moment where I went back to my country for a while to visit my family. And Sebastian was here. He was managing the business, and he was really busy. And he was getting stressed and everything. And he wanted to get rid of some clients. So he increased the prices. And I think only one left us.
Yeah, so one person.
And we were like, what? We've been doing all this work for less than they would pay. And there is where you realize that people are willing to pay for cleaning if they trust you for real. And I think that's key if you make a relationship with your clients, because then it doesn't matter the price, and if it doesn't matter what happens, they will stick with you. That was what I want to say. And before that, I wanted to say also that this friction that you mentioned, I think is self-created. Like people create this friction by themselves, and they think, oh, these people are racist, or these people will not understand my English. But people really don't care. Like, as long as you do a great job, they'll be fine. Elon Musk says, you earn in proportion of the value that you create. So Sebastian has been here longer than me, so his English is way better. And when I just came, I didn't speak English at all. But I think it was the attitude towards speaking to people, even if you don't know how to speak, that made them feel comfortable around you. Even if I didn't know the words, I would do funny things to make them laugh, or to to make them feel comfortable. And that is what matters even more than speaking English. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's human nature. Like if you just try to relate to someone, they're going to appreciate that. Like I remember when I was in Italy, I was in like the middle of nowhere in Sicily where like no one speaks English. And I knew like, I don't know, 3 sentences in Italian, and I would just spam those same words over and over again to locals, and they loved it. They were like, they loved it. They just loved that I was putting in the effort to like speak their language and like, you know, get immersed in their culture. So I think it's the same thing here. And I'm glad you said that, because that's kind of what I was probing at. I wanted, like, I do agree that a lot of these things are self-imposed, like these limiting beliefs. And I wanted you, if there was anything, to kind of like unravel that and basically say that in one way or another, because like, yeah, sure, there is like racism and prejudice and all these things in the world, but like in business, we all kind of have the same, like we're all on the same playing field. Like the people that are going to be prejudiced towards you anyway, like you don't want them as customers regardless. I wouldn't want those people as customers. Yeah. Like this is a funny story. I'll just say, like when I was on radio, like 2 years ago, I was on 6PR radio in Perth, which is like all the oldies listen to that. And I got a bunch of quotes from going on this station. And basically, they interviewed me about my business. I was like, yeah, you know, yada, yada, yada. And they talked about Australia, the whole Australia's fastest cleaner thing. And I don't know what happened, but this old couple in a really big like mansion booked me in for a quote, and they're like, yeah, we heard you on the radio. I love what you were talking about. I love your enthusiasm to the business, and I love that you only hire Australians. And I was like, what do you mean? Huh? And they were like on the radio, you said like your team is Australian, you only hire Australians, and blah blah blah. And in my head, I'm thinking like, obviously, I would not say that on national radio. Like, are you kidding me? But I was like really put off because they were like very clearly like super racist, and they were talking about, you know, past cleaners they've had that didn't speak very good English, and they talked about like how disrespectful they were to the cleaner as a result, thinking that I'm like on their side, and I'm just like, yeah. So that didn't go well. But it gave me an insight into that, and like those are the types of clients that I don't want anyway, even if just because like it's just not the type of energy I want to bring into the business and around my people. So yeah, I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I just thought I'd throw that story in there. Like you are going to get people like that, and like regardless, you just don't want them.
Now, of course, and the thing is that sometimes what happens is with David, because we had in our like little Spanish community, we had people asking us like, oh, like how do you guys do with the cleaning business? Like how are you doing with that? Can you help us a little bit? And we had this guy who told us that his cleaning business wasn't going good because Australians were too racist. And then he started like telling us stories about like what happened. In the stories where we came to the conclusion that the stories were him self-inflicting, that like it wasn't even them. And then we started joking with David, but like you said, it's a good filter for people, because if let's say that there's a racist client, that I think it's 1 out of 1,000. Let's say it's 1. If they don't want us, they're gonna say no, and it's gonna be better for us. I don't really care. And then after that, we started joking. Every time that we went to do a proposal, and they didn't accept the proposal, we were like, oh, too racist. That's bad. Yeah, we started joking because it was just funny for us. We never cared. We never even thought about it. I think it has to do a lot to do with the mindset that you go in, because we never, even if a person speak badly to us, we never thought, oh, it's because it's racist. We always thought we probably have something to improve. Like our English is probably not as good. The proposal wasn't probably as good for their standards. We probably didn't seem professional enough. We never thought, oh, they're racist. We always thought of us missing something, and I think that was a good part for us to get better at English, better at doing proposals, better at presentation, better at whatever. Yeah, I think
it's a mindset thing. Who do you blame? You can blame them for being racist, or blame yourself for not being good enough, or maybe for not giving the best price. So it's who do you blame? If you start blaming other people, then you will not learn ever. And that's, I think, even not only with clients, but with employees as well. Because at the beginning, we were like, oh, I promise you, like I would call Sebastian and say, this guy has minus IQ. Is it how you say it? I don't know. Like negative IQ. Because some people were like, they didn't understand. And I was having the same problem with everyone. And when I changed my mindset from blaming them to blaming me, is where I started thinking, oh, maybe I am not explaining properly. I am not showing them the way I should do it. So if you blame yourself because someone else doesn't clean properly, then you change the process that you change the process how you teach them to clean, so they clean properly. So it's all our fault, not theirs.
Yeah, look, bottom line is business is hard. And I think a lot of people in business, when they experience hardship, they want to do the self-soothing thing and like blame some sort of circumstances or have some excuse for why it's not working. Like, oh, it's because it's a racial thing, or it's because, like, you know, I'm in a small community, or I'm in like a bad location and the market's not good here, whatever it may be, or like the state of the economy or politics or whatever. So everyone's always looking for an excuse, to like a scapegoat for why they're in the situation they're in. But the sooner that you realize that you're always the constraint, you're always going to be your own biggest bottleneck and your own biggest problem. Sure, there's still going to be racism, there's still going to be all this stuff, but the sooner you take that ownership and that responsibility for the situation you're in and you just deal with it, that's when you can actually like do great things regardless of what's going on around you. Because like everyone's got stuff going on. Like, sure, some people have it better than others, but are you going to like just give up because someone else had it better than you and, you know, maybe they got ahead as a result? Like, no, that's not how success is built. And actually a lot of the time, the hardship is what really like shapes you as a person and as a business owner. Like I used to say, like, I was really bad socially and I hated, you know, sales stuff and like in-person quotes and things like that. And I was like, oh, you know, this is just too hard. Like, I'm just not that way inclined naturally. Like, I'm not a natural born salesman. I can't really talk to people that well and build a rapport. And then I'm like, hang on, what if I just get better at it? Like, what if I just do it anyway, even though I suck at it, and slowly get better and better? And that's what happened. And so you can tell these things to yourself, but at the end of the day, like, you are the catalyst for your own success. Exactly what you were saying. So I love that you guys have that mindset, and I like, obviously you guys follow Hormozy like I do. I think his stuff is great, really good. So, and you've got 7 employees now. So talk to us about that.
We have 7 employees, and we have the BA as well. I don't know if that counts as 1, so it'll be 8 with her.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think that counts as another employee.
Yeah, 100%. When did you hire the first employee?
Pretty soon, actually. Yeah, I think him.
This
the
guy,
first slave. First slave to master. I was the one.
I think we hired the first employee pretty quickly. I think in the first 6 months, we were getting subcontractors at first, like people to help us every now and then when we needed help. It was, for the first year, it was probably the 2 of us working 60 hours a week. Probably for the first 2 years, it was us working 60 hours a week. But I think we hired pretty quickly. You know, first probably 5 to 6 months. Probably in the first 3 months, we hired someone. And yeah, then you just like start filling gaps. I don't even know we hired this. I think probably 6 months ago, we still have just 1 employee.
Right.
And
okay.
it was
So there's been a lot of growth in the last 6 months.
In the last 6 months. The last 6 months is when we got everyone. Yeah.
Is that just a result of you really focusing on marketing efforts and sales?
I think it's a combination of everything, because you could never have just one thing working. So everything has to be, the first 8 months that, like I said before, that we focus on systems and like getting the processes together, where we didn't want to get any clients because we were scared that we were going to lose the clients. I think that helped us a lot to like shift a little bit and just go for client acquisition for 6 months straight, like just clients. And the business like keeps running smoothly. We don't have any complaints. The girls work perfectly. The girls are really good. We have really good employees, I believe. Yeah, I think they're great.
I think it was access to the right information as well.
Yeah, of course.
Access to the right, because we've worked hard all these years. Like we've worked really hard, but because we just 6 months ago, we got the right information that we had before, but we ignored. We had the right information, and with that information, we just took action, and then we started getting the results and getting the money in growing the business so quick. It was just the information. I think that's why I would say, if you want to invest on something, just invest on information and someone else's experiences, because that will really make you more money than just learning by yourself and on your own.
Yeah, because sometimes like you're pretty scared of like doing stuff. Actually, I think the time that when we grew the most is last November. I went to China for like a month. So I went to China all November, and then he went to Ecuador all December for holidays. And that's when we had to like really push ourselves to hire people and to stop doing things. And after that, we didn't want to go back to the tools. You know, after for a big holiday, you're like,
yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, do I really need to go back to cleaning? Because these 6 months is the less that we have worked in our business ever, and the more growth that we have seen ever. Because like just shifting ourselves from, because before, if there was another 3 clients today, we were like, oh, let's go work. Now we've like, it was our day off. We'll say, all right, let's organize the teams. We can make it work for them, and we can like focus on what we do. So we've been like shifting ourselves from going from the tools to just being here at the computer more often, doing the quotes, doing the inspections, things that actually like to do.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it can take, just a holiday, and you get back and you're like, I don't ever want to work again. Like I built the business. I started the business in 2020 and took my first holiday in 2023. That was when I put Stacey in the business and like just left for a month.
I'm sorry that I cut you. It's crazy because
that's okay.
I think you spoke about that in one of your podcasts I've been listening to your podcast for a while now. So it's crazy because what are you saying? I know what you're going to say because you did spoke about that in a podcast, I believe. And it's crazy because I feel like I know you in a way, but you don't know me. You spoke about that because you were watching the Kardashians, and you were like, oh, I feel like I know the Kardashians, but they don't know
that was
me.
another podcast episode.
It's the same thing because I know like I've been listening to the podcast for a while, and like, oh, I probably like know what he's referring to. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Well, there's stuff about me that I don't even remember. Like I was like, you guys have probably seen this AI bot that I've been building on the new platform. And I'm like talking to it, and it's telling me stuff that I've said that I forgot I said, or telling me things about myself that I didn't even know. And I'm like, oh my God. So now, and there's like 70 hours of podcast content. So yeah, people will binge that. And based on that, like they're going to know more about me than I know today because I've got the memory of a goldfish. So I do a podcast next week. I've forgotten about it. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the holiday. So yeah, I went away after 3 years of just grinding, working, 80 to 100 hours a week, just crazy stuff. And then I finally went away for a holiday. Put Stacey in the role of manager. I was just like, just deal with it. I'll come back and fix anything if it goes wrong. And then I came back and I'm like, that was amazing. I never want to work again. and then I went and built the second location in Perth, and I was like, man, like I didn't even have like half the work ethic I used to have, because I think that just became the new standard for me. That was like the new baseline. And I'm like, I'm making like all this money from my first location, which I'm not even in, and I'm now back scrubbing toilets for like a fraction of that. And it's just like, and then I had to remind myself, like, this is a very privileged problem I'm putting myself through. I'm like, I need to remember where I came from. And then I, put my head down, worked for a bit longer, I went on some mini holidays, but I just worked hard again for like a year and a half and built the second location up. And now like I've got that under management. So I'm about to go away for a holiday again. And like, it's just that's business. That's the game. And it's never like a linear progression. There's always going to be ups and downs, and things are changing all the time. But so talk about that. When you got back from your holiday, both of you, did you like immediately have this mindset shift? Like that was awesome. I don't ever want to clean again. How do we structure the business so that we don't have to do that?
And I feel a relief. I feel relief that you said that, because we joke now, because I think we got really lazy. Like, we don't want to work anymore. Like, why?
Well,
why
it's not
work
laziness,
if I can
because you
just
do
be
work
here?
hard, but you work hard on other things. You
Yes,
find more value
exactly.
and fulfillment in working on the business rather than in it, because you
Yes.
know what's possible and you know what you're capable of now.
Yeah, right. And it doesn't feel like working sometimes.
Yeah, just
So
like it.
Yeah.
so sometimes, like, no, we're too lazy. Like, we're really bad. But what was the question?
And the thing is that because there's the two of us, because it's probably you have some like deep work parts that you need to like really focus, but because it's the two of us, a lot of the time is like really fun to work. Like, we just do stuff together. So even if we have to be here on the computer for like 3 hours, it's just us like showing things to each other, just joking. And then someone gets tired and puts a YouTube video.
The gym.
And we have the gym in here, so like we
Yeah, nice.
exercise at the same time that we work. So it's been fun to be here and like build the business, because right now we do actually feel that we're building the business. Probably 6 months ago, we felt like we had a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it just became a thing that we had to do every day, and like we do the roster, but it's just us putting us on the roster and working every day. And it was tiring. And we still work, we still clean, but we don't clean more than 10 hours a week.
Right. And did you ever have moments where you were like just thinking about giving up or thinking it was too hard, or have you always just had that mindset?
Yeah, we would joke all the time that, all right, it's time to sell the business. That's it.
Well, you're not going to be able to sell it for much if it's if you hate the business so much you want to sell it, you're probably not going to get much for it.
That's if I'm being honest, that's the only thing that stopped us. I think because we knew we were gonna get pennies for the business, we thought, all right, it's not worth it to sell it. Really, just gonna keep doing it. Yeah, but a lot of times, I think. But I knew that. I know that's how it is, and I think you said this as well. How crazy we just I'm just an accumulation of all the people that I listen to.
I mean, we all are.
I think you said this. What I do believe, we knew it was hard, but I do believe that you're gonna get something out of life if you're able to focus on one thing for an extended period of time. So I do think that it's good to like shift around and look for opportunities, but at the same time, we got to a point in the cleaning business that we thought this one has to be. Even if we're not going to do it for the rest of our lives, I'm not going to feel fulfilled enough if we're going to leave it up here. Like, we need to get something out of it, like at least get it to $1 million. I think that's our goal. Like, if we get it to $1 million a year in sales, then we're going to say, all right, is it really worth it? I think that's the right time when you can like actually take a decision, because before that, it's just for me, it's just like, I'm just being lazy. I just don't want to put the work to get it to the point that it should be. At least that's for me. Yeah.
I think it's an exponential curve as well.
Sorry?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's the irony of business too. Like, I've had those moments in the beginning where I was like, oh man, I can't wait to just sell this thing and be rid of it. But then I'm like, when I get this thing to like a couple million, I'm just selling it. And then I get there and I'm like, I never want to sell this. It's too good. Why would I want to sell this? So, and sorry, what are you saying? It's like an exponential curve.
Yeah, I was saying, it's like an exponential curve, because when you're getting started, growth seems like nothing, like you're not growing at all. And there is just one point where you start seeing the growth, and there is where you realize, oh, I did right when I didn't sell the business. Because if we would have, maybe we would have gotten a few $1,000, and we wouldn't have experienced the growth that we had right now. So I think, and maybe this happens to a lot of people that are listening, that they feel that their business isn't working, or that they are not making enough money and they're working too hard. Maybe it's just about time until that exponential curve comes to the point where you start seeing the growth, and it's just about time sometimes. So it's just, you have to be patient and just keep working until you see that growth. that is unavoidable.
And the good thing with our line of business, at least for us, is that we weren't going blind. I mean, we knew that you have done it, and I think you're a year older than me. So for us, like watching at your videos, like listening to your podcast, and you still being young, because I remember watching your video saying that, oh, I started at 18, and my cousin was 18, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I mean, you don't see that, and I'm like, if this guy did it, like, why cannot we do it? And if he has a way and he has done it, it's possible. I'm not creating the new Google, the new Apple. I mean, it's not like I'm going blind and going to a market that I don't even know it exists. The cleaning business industry is massive here in Australia. I think like $20 billion industry. So it's like, all right, there's enough for everyone. And I think if we do the right things, which are not like crazy impossible, it's not crazy to learn, crazy to understand, even for someone that doesn't speak in English, that we could see people like you, that you're like a year older than me, saying like, oh, this guy has done it like really good. Why cannot we do the same? Like there's the footprint, the blueprint. It's not the footprint.
Yeah.
The blueprint.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And back to what you were saying about that growth curve, like it's very true. And a good exercise for anyone listening to do is just go online and search for a compound interest calculator and just put in like, $10,000 and then have it compound by like $100 a week for like 20 years. And you'll see that in the first couple of months, like it's going to go, 10,000 to 11,000. There's not going to be much growth there. But then you look towards the tail end, like 10 years later, 20 years later, all of a sudden it's like millions and millions of dollars. And all you have to do is substitute money for time and effort and then translate that into a business. You can put in all this effort in the beginning into a business and all this hard like work and sweat and tears, and you're not going to see much of a return immediately. But if you just extend the timeline and look 5 years down the track, that is going to grow exponentially, and you are going to get rewarded in dividends in droves for all of that work you put in the beginning. So that's kind of where you guys are at now, because you talked about it, and I mean it's been demonstrated perfectly just by your current situation. Like you started in just over 2 years ago, and yeah, it took a little bit of time to get off the ground, but just in the last few months, like you've doubled the business, and that's not a small increase. You've gone from, 250K to $500,000. So, and the next 12 months, you'll probably go from $500,000 to $1 million. And then that'll just be the new normal for you. And then you'll go, it'll go from 1 million to 2 million. And before you know it, depends how far you want to take it. It's all up to you.
Yeah.
We'll take the profits and we'll go to the casino and see what happened.
Yeah. Put it all on red. Put it all on red.
Yeah.
It's not just luck though. Like, yes, the harder you work, the luckier you get, but luck is the result of just like relentlessly following opportunity and putting your head down and working. Like luck is going to come. I've gotten lucky. Like the hospital contract I got years and years ago, that was luck. It just fell on my lap. But I was also working really hard, and I was like putting out feelers everywhere, and I was doing ads in Facebook, I was networking with people, I was putting so you're doing all these things, and you can just kind of you can downplay some things as luck, but everything compounds and everything adds up over time. So nothing right now that has happened to you guys has been a result of luck. It's only hard work, and if there is luck, it's come from that. It's a downstream effect.
Yeah, I think that's why I always say to David, like, there's luck. We just like have to find it. If we like press the button like too many times, there's gonna be a point where we get lucky. But we just have to keep pressing it. Like we just have to keep doing it. I think if we just like keep sending emails, sending proposals, sending stuff, there's gonna be a massive contract for us sometime.
There is luck. You just have to find it. I like that.
Does that mean we have to go to the casino many times more?
This guy in the casino. Do not let this guy go to the casino with the business card ever.
With the business card.
It works in business, but the casino is a business, and their business is rigged against you. So absolutely not. No. But hey, maybe you will get lucky. Maybe you can put the whole business on black and double it.
I'll see. If you see me with a Lamborghini one day, it wouldn't be for the business.
Okay, just put BCA cleaning on the Lambo, and you can maybe put that as a tax deduction.
right off straight away.
Do you have any big goals or like dreams for the business, or what what you want to do with the success that comes from it? Like, do you want to buy cars like that? Is it holidays
money,
that you
bro.
have in plan or
Money.
anything? Yeah,
I like cars.
yeah.
I really like cars. I've seen your cars. I really enjoy cars. I'm a mechanic, so that's
Oh, cool.
my
Yeah,
degree in here. Like I'm a Cert 3 and Cert 4 mechanic. So
yeah.
I really enjoy
Cars are
cars, but
cool. Yeah,
that's not like the goal. Like I enjoy cars. At one point, I want to be able to buy a car that I like. But I think the point is, for us at least, I mean, for me, is having the freedom to like be with my partner, like enjoy time with my dog. I have my family in here, so I like to go camping. I like to do stuff. I think freedom is the biggest thing that I want to have. That's it. Cars, like, it'll just come. It'll just come with time. Like
yeah,
if you really want cars, like you can finance the car for whatever amount. I don't think is the end goal. It's more like having the tranquility to be fine going out and eat. I think that's what I want. We want to, of course, we want to make the business big. We want to get it to where you are now. I think like you're still like one of the biggest inspirations for the cleaning business. We want to get to where you are. That's what we listen to you. That's what we follow your steps. Like we really like to listen to people. That's one thing that I think you have said it, and we believe it a lot as well. That there's people who have done it. We believe a lot in mentorship. So if we don't know something, we always go to someone that knows how to do it. And there's a lot of people that know how to do it. So of course I want to get at the point that where you are now, but I'm pretty sure that where you are now, you have a bigger goal than where you are. So I don't think it's
yeah. It never ends.
The goal is always going to increase. It's always going to go bigger than that. So just having tranquility, which I think I do believe I have now. Like I'm pretty chill, and I do enjoy doing what I do with my cousin. I think that's the biggest thing. So probably monetary goals. That's it. I think I just talk too much.
I think Dave's sitting there just like stuff all that. I just want to go to the casino and gamble. I don't care about the tranquility.
Make 100 grand. Just double down.
You've got yin and yang here. It's good that you've got both of these attitudes, because combined, it'll take you far. But I mean, from the time I met you guys and like we got on our first call, I honestly did think that you would like be able to take the business far, and I'm not surprised that you're now at $500,000, and continuing to grow. Like, you're definitely going to get there. It really just comes down to the attitude and the mindset, which you clearly have. I like what you said about, how you paid for that knowledge, that 3.5K, which you didn't have to do. You could have just got it from my course. But anyway, like, that's something I've always done. Like, if I want to learn something, or if I want something done for my business, like, I'm not a control freak, but I want to understand how it works. So I'm not just going to go and pay someone to run Google ads for me. Maybe I will, but I at least want to understand exactly what they're doing and like the architecture of it. So I've always paid for mentorship. I've been in programs like Where You, which is like a Google Ads thing. Even though I don't run Google Ads, I just wanted to understand it so I could one day maybe do it or help other people do it, which I have done. Like I've done mentorship on HR and culture and all these things. And, you don't know what you don't know. And you can spend years trying to figure it out, or you can just spend a couple $1,000 and learn it, which in this business, it's a very small investment relative to the return you can get. Like, you spent $3,500 to learn something that's now going to make you six figures, is already making you six figures. So what is like the one big domino that you guys want to knock over now in the business that's going to get you to the next stage? Or is it just sales? Like, what is it?
Good question.
This is a good question. I think
Give me 2 minutes.
Is it sales, systems? Is it a mix of them? Like, where are you guys at now?
I think probably people, even though we have great people that is helping us. We just had one of the girls. She's now our operations manager. At least that's what we like leading her to be. She's taking care of a few new things. But I still believe we're lacking. Now, you just mentioned that you took a HR course in management. I think we still are missing we did like something that I'm thinking about is like we used to have uniforms and we don't have uniforms now. and it doesn't seem right for a business. I think our size, I think, is pretty big enough to like, we should be presentable, we should be having a uniform. So I think it's those little things that I still want to like get right of the business. I still want to learn how to hire properly, because sometimes I'm very relaxed. Like sometimes my hiring process is really, do you want to work with me? Yes. Okay, come. That's it. So I still need to put some more things in place so we can get the right people. I think we are at the point that we want to find the right people to work in our business, like that can add things that we don't know how to do. Because we can be good selling the business, but we're probably not that good in HR, in human relationships. We're probably a bit autistic because we don't know how to talk to people. And so we need someone that can like talk to the team and like lead them in a way that is good for them to be where we want to be. And we can just be probably behind the screens. I don't know. I think people is one of the things that we want to, that it's still one of our bottlenecks right now, like managing and leading people.
I think the next step is having someone to do what we are doing right now. I think that's what we were talking about the other day, having our main manager to do what we are doing right now. So she does speak English, but she doesn't speak English perfectly. So what we are trying to do right now is teach her to you have to teach me to speak English first. To teach her.
That'll be the next course that comes out.
Yeah.
You should put a comment on that.
So she can communicate with the clients as we do. And now that you mentioned about that, I remember I used to listen to your podcast and repeat what you said to practice the pronunciation. So I used to practice English with your podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
so there's
first.
this thing called shadowing. So I used to shadow you with your words. Yes.
That's funny. I mean, I think we all do that. Like even like, you know, native English speakers, like we're always picking things up from other people. Like I've certainly picked up things from like Alex Hormozi because I just listen to so much of his content. There's like Mal Emery, my OG mentor. Like there's a lot of stuff I say that came from him. I actually don't think I've ever had like an original thought in my life. So if you guys picked up stuff from me that you use, then you know I reckon that's
from someone else.
Yeah, it's probably from someone else. It's like just this Frankenstein of an idea by that point.
Yeah,
but that's cool. So you guys, you've got 7 staff now, or 8 including the VA. What does the hiring process look like? Did you take the hiring module from Booked Out Cleaners and implement that?
If I'm honest, we haven't, and I think that's the next thing.
Probably should, yeah.
Yeah, because we've been, like I say, it's not been really good. So it's just been through WhatsApp groups and through referrals, people that want to work with us, and they just come in, like text me. That's my side of the business. Come and text me, and I'll just like do a few questions. I go and see them. I gotta show them around. We do a trial clean, and they send me the documents that I need. And that's pretty much it. So we still need like a bit of an screening process where we say, all right, you're the right fit for the business. I was actually doing that this afternoon, like trying to.
Well, it's all in there. So go through. Clearly, I need to charge you guys more so you pay attention to what's in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, please.
That's
my one takeaway from this. I'm sending you an invoice for like 10 grand as soon as we hop off this. Then you'll actually do the work.
I
think our problem was that at the beginning, we focused too much on processes and procedures and having everything perfectly and everything like the fundamentals.
You did everything backwards.
Perfectly. And now we found out that sales are everything. So we said, oh, sales. And now we're not focusing on the processes and on the procedures. So like we go from one side to the other. And I think that's our mistake. I'm sorry, Jason, for letting you down.
But no, this is exciting because you've done this well and you've gotten this far without that. So imagine what you can achieve once you've got that in place. Like that's an exciting thought.
Yeah.
It's not like you've done all the right things and only gotten this far. It's like you've gotten this far despite, you know, not doing this stuff. So you're in a pretty good position now to just really explode this thing. And hopefully you guys go through that module and put it into play because I mean, I've done like 8 of these interviews so far with other people in there. Every single one, I think except for one, has like used that module, and they say it's like a godsend for them, and it's really improved their hiring and stuff. So I think that'll be a game changer for you guys. And there's definitely a lot of stuff that, you know, you're going to create, and a lot of this will just be a discovery process for you as well. Like as you go throughout the journey and you continue to grow, there's going to be things that you learn just by virtue of you doing stuff and like failing and trying things and then not working out. That's going to kind of reshape how the business looks. And that's what's really going to take you from where you are now to like 1 million and beyond. And eventually you just develop this model that is just so predictable and repeatable that it's just like you just keep going and going. And then, you know, things are always going to change, but you're at that stage now where you're still just learning, and there's stuff that you don't know that is blocking you from getting you to that next stage. So you know, it's just about having that open mind about that growth, which you guys do have. And, you know, it's just one bottleneck to the next. Like you focus on sales. Sales is only going to get you so far until you get to that point where you're being squeezed by a lack of systems. And then you need to look back and then figure out the systems, get everything in place, and then you can start to develop the sales pipeline again. And so it's always just like this back and forth in business of oscillating between one thing and the next. But what things have you guys really found success with recently? It could just be like a sales process. It could be like a question that you started asking in quotes. It could be a new like framework that you came up with. It could be anything. What's something that you found a lot of success with lately that's been a game changer for you?
I think when you offer your commercial clients to clean their houses.
Yeah, that's something that we have found that we weren't doing before. We just like once we get a commercial client, and sometimes they're like big offices where it's like tons of people, and we send an email saying, "Oh, thank you so much for accepting the proposal. And just want to mention that we don't usually do houses, but I don't want you guys to go anywhere else, so I'm happy to give you a good price for a regular house cleaning." And yeah, they'll start calling us. So
yeah, we closed one commercial and we got 3 houses.
Nice.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah, regular, because we don't do regular work. So we got like 3 4 nightly houses at 200 per service. So it's like, all right, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's good money. It's like another new commercial contract. Like we do the same thing. We always offer incentives, and what we do is we will, you know, if we go into a big office, you've got like, you know, they've got like a big like accounts department, they've got a CMO, a COO, all these things. We offer all of them like a discount on all of our services for residential cleaning. And because that's our bread and butter, like we get a lot of people that like we get a commercial contract, but then a lot of their staff end up booking their regular house cleans with us. Yeah. And we make so much more money off the back of that. And because it's all recurring, like we might get one $50K contract to clean an office, but then we get to clean for like the operations manager, the CEO, the director, whatever it may be. And that 50K can turn into like 100K a year. And these are pretty nice houses too. Like we recently got a mining contract. This mining, they do like construction in mining. And the CEO, his son found me on TikTok, and I was like, this is sick. This is great. And so they got us to clean the house as well. And the house is almost bigger than the office. It's insane. Yeah. So like between those 2 contracts, that's like over 100K a year as well. And so yeah, that's a pretty good piece of advice there as well. If you do commercial, just ask. I was speaking to David Dunstan on the last episode, I believe, and he does commercial, and he will literally just anyone he speaks to that has a business, he just asks them like, who does your cleaning? And he's gotten all of his clients just from asking that question. He like be at the dentist, and he asked the dentist, who does your cleaning? And then he got a dental contract out of that. He was at his mechanic getting his car serviced. He's like, oh, who does your cleaning? He's like, I own a cleaning business, and he got a contract out of that. So sometimes all you have to do is just ask the question and have some conversations, which is why I tell people, if you want to get more clients, just have more conversations. Just tell more people about what you do. I think that was a whole podcast episode as well. But
yes, I remember. Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
I think also another piece of advice that I can say, especially for those who do cold email, once you send the proposal, keep following up until they either say no or yes.
Oh, I think you said that on a podcast as well, because we don't use it like in our. I remember you.
I think the title is "The Fortune is in the Follow Up" for anyone that wants to go listen to that.
Yeah, I remember, because I now remember what you said, because you said that there is this like forum on like a Facebook group, and someone was asking like, how many follow-ups should I do to a client, and then all the replies were like, oh, just two.
Don't follow up.
You shouldn't be desperate.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And that's what I thought at first before I listened to that, because I was saying to him like, oh, like we already like sent 2 follow-ups. They probably don't want it, so let's keep it like that. But now I think we have done like for some people probably 10, 12 follow-ups, and at the 10 or 12 they say, oh, you know what? Yes, I want it.
Yeah. So there is this client that accept our proposal after the 27th follow-up. So if you go to email, you see that we sent 27 emails, and then they said, oh yeah, I'm interested, and then we went ahead and we cleaned the office.
Yeah.
So like 27 emails.
Yeah, generally in marketing, they say like you need 15 touch points in order to like get a sale. So, you know, like 27, some are 3, some are 10, like it averages out to be about 15 in some cases. It's especially true for commercial, because sometimes they've got like a chain of command. There's a lot of bureaucracy. It's got to go from one person to the other. Like cleaning is at the very bottom of their priority list.
Yeah.
You know, with a mining company, like I had to follow up so many times with the mining company because they're doing like, you know, billion-dollar projects, and like they're not thinking about cleaning. So yeah, obviously I'm gonna keep following up until I get an answer. And it's the people that don't follow up because they think, you know, they're too prideful, and they think, oh, you know, you got to know your worth, and if you follow up, you're losing that power, and they have all the leverage and all this stuff, which is just completely untrue. There's a quote I love as well, which is, it's don't interrupt your enemy while they're making a mistake. And sometimes I'm telling myself like I should just, you know, let people think this. Like there's people that are like, you know, you shouldn't follow up, and you should just, you know your worth and all this stuff. I'm like, you know, that's my competition making a mistake, and I can just ignore that and let them keep doing that, and I'll continue to do the right thing and profit off it. But also at the same time, I'm like, no, I think people need to understand that, like, you know, there's better ways to do things, and I do want to help people. So yeah, the fortune really is in the follow up, and I'm glad you guys are proof of that as well. Like if I never followed up on anything, I'd be broke.
Yeah. And so sometimes you think that at the beginning because you don't know that you have a bit of pride on following up, because you think that you're worth a bit more than that. But it's not really about worth. It's like about getting business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you've got to drop your ego and just put that pride aside sometimes. And you know, if you're worried about annoying someone with your follow-ups, like that's on them. If they're getting annoyed by your follow-ups and not responding to you, then that's not your problem. Just wait until you get a definite answer. It's either a yes or it's a no. And if they're like, oh, let me think about it. Okay, let them think about it and then follow up again in 2 days. You know, wait until you get that definite answer. Like it's still up for grabs. That money is still just waiting there on the table. So you've got to do your due diligence and follow up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good as well when you get a client, because that makes me think that it's going to be harder for another cleaning. Like, let's say I'm not doing a right work on a medical center or whatever. It's going to be really hard for a new cleaning business to keep me out of there, because the client really wants the less friction possible. Like, sometimes I believe that they don't want to be amazingly happy with the cleaning services. It just has to be like good enough that of course they're not going to have like any big complaints, massive complaints, but because it's not that easy to get commercial clients as at the first. Sometimes it is, like sometimes you get people that their cleaning is going away, or they're like really tired of the cleaning. But other than that, like if the cleaning is good enough to show up every day to do the cleaning that it should be done, they're not going to change the cleaner. Like if I gain that contract and I do the work that I'm supposed to be doing, I know that the client is not going to take the mental hassle to go and look for another cleaner. I mean, at least the big companies are not, because they're focusing on their stuff. Cleaning is not on top of their list.
Yeah, they just want it to be done, and they don't want to be hassled. That's why a lot of the time, like, it's really not about price. It's just about like to some of these people in these companies, like they don't care if they're spending an extra $20,000-$30,000 a year on cleaning. What's valuable to them is that they're not constantly chasing up, what to them is like a low value thing. They don't want to be chasing people up and like having cleaners calling in sick and being unreliable and not showing up on time and communicating poorly. Like they'll pay an extra premium for that. And there's still a very big place in the market for a premium positioned service like us and like you guys that aren't going to charge bottom of the barrel rates. And because the people that charge those, like they're not even competing with us. The clients that take on those like $30 an hour clients, then we lose quotes to them. We're like, fine, we're happy with that. We don't want clients like that anyway, because they don't value the service and all they value is cost, which is not the game that we're playing. So did you always have that mindset when you started that like we are going to be, like a premium service and we're really going to strive for that quality and the service aspect rather than just trying to compete on price? Did you always price well, or was that something you had to learn in the beginning as well?
No, we didn't price correctly at the beginning. I think for the first houses, we were charging $35 an hour, mostly because in the South American community, like doing cleaning business or doing cleaning in general,
pretty common.
That was like a normal price range. So for us, going from 35 to 45 was a huge jump. I remember telling my friends that we were charging $45 an hour for the cleaning. They were like, "Oh man, you're making money." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not making any money." And then I remember seeing, because I was charging 45 when I joined the school community, and I remember like going to David and telling him like, "Oh, Jason charged like $75 an hour." How do we?
He's making money.
Yeah, how do we get there? It was like, for us, it seemed that going from 45 to 75, it was like, it's just too much. Everyone is just going to say no. I mean, how can people say yes? We really thought it was just but once we did it, we realized it's not that bad. No, many people said, we don't want the service anymore. I think the first time that we went from 45 to 55, I think like 3 clients left us. Then we went from 55 to $70 an hour for residential, and just 1 client left. And it was like in the matter of a year. So I thought some clients are going to say no, like more clients are going to say no, but they didn't want to. The cleaning was good. The communication was good. We're showing up every day. So for them, I do believe it was more hassle to go and look for another cleaner than to just like be with us, paying the price that we are worth.
And some of them left, they dropped, and then they came back.
Yeah, and then came back after.
Yeah. And look, the thing that people aren't going to realize as well is that when you do a price increase, you can afford to lose a certain amount of customers and still remain profitable. And I'm going to pull up.
Yes.
So in the new Maid OS
I saw that.
software I'm building. Yeah. So I'm going to pull up this price increase simulator just to delineate this for people listening. So if you're at $55 an hour and you go up to $75 an hour, that's a profit rise of about $18 an hour just based on like benchmarks. So you can afford to lose 77% of your customers with that price increase and still make the same amount of money. So that means if you have 100 customers paying you $55 an hour, and you increase to $75 an hour, based on these numbers, you can lose 77 of those clients and still make the same amount of profit. So I think that's what most people miss. And, you might be worried about losing a few clients. It's like, oh, what if I lose, 10% of my clients with a $10 an hour increase? It's like, dude, that would be like the best case scenario. You'll be making way more profit with less customers, which means less hassle. And you can afford to lose 7 times that. So that's why I think it's like the numbers are, it's the be all end all of business. Like you need to understand these numbers inside out, because not only is it the one source of truth for everything that's real, but also it gives you the clarity that you need in order to make these high level decisions and go in the right direction. Like when I did my first price increase, it was scary because I didn't realize that this is how the math worked. And it's not until you know these things.
When you started, when you were 18 doing business?
When I started,
$27 an hour, I think.
No, way less than that. The first clean I did, it was a $27 clean. So it took me 4.5 hours to do for $27 because I was just desperate to get a client. I would have done it for free, but I'm like, people don't value free. Let me at least put a price on it.
You were robbing houses.
Yeah, people thought I was robbing them when I was trying to do.
You were robbing houses, mate.
Yeah, I mean they were robbing me for how much I was charging technically, but yeah, like even after that, like I was charging $30 an hour, and then when I ran the numbers, and I was like, oh, how can I grow this business and hire staff? I'm like, I can't. I'm not making money. So I increased from I think 30 to 40, and then 40 to 55. And same thing, like it was scary. I'm like, oh man, what if I lose a couple customers? If only I knew back then that I could have just run my numbers through this calculator, that I could have known, like even if someone's charging, $50 an hour, and I put in that you want to go up to $55 an hour, like you can afford to lose so many customers and still make the same amount of money. So it's just having these numbers in front of you and knowing this stuff. And I mean, it goes to all other areas of business, like knowing profit, knowing cost to acquire a customer, lifetime value, all these things. And I know that this is something that you guys are very on the ball with. I know that you said that one of the things you really liked in Booked Out Cleaners was the Know Your Numbers course. So talk about that. How did you find that? And did that like change how you looked at your own business, just having those numbers with you? And talk about that.
I was just about to say that, because I think sometimes it's about the ignorance, because we don't really understand our costs. So we say, okay, with $50 an hour, we just pay this to the cleaner and that's it. The rest is profit. But when I went to the module and I saw the calculator and I begin to understand all the costs that comes with the business, then I understood that we were actually losing money instead of making money. So
yeah, and the only reason you weren't in the red is because it was your time that you're spending, not someone else's.
Exactly. And that was the moment where we understood that we have to change. And if we didn't have the calculator, probably we wouldn't have increased the prices, because we were pretty happy with the prices we had. And because of the calculator, we said, oh, fuck. There is no way we're losing money here. I mean, we're working this hard, and all these months, all these years, we've been doing this, and now I realize that we're not charging enough. And I think sometimes it's just about learning that you have to pay more things to understand that you have to charge more. Otherwise, you're gonna lose money.
Wow, so that was like the catalyst for pretty much all the growth that came after that, was just you realizing that your numbers weren't what they needed to be in order to be profitable and grow. So then you changed that, and that's what allowed you to actually get to where you are now.
Yeah, and not only the growth, but also the tranquility. Because
just the peace of mind,
Yes, the peace of mind, because once you begin to charge more, now you can step out of the business a little bit. Now you see the bank account has more money. Now you are willing to invest more money, because you see more money coming into your bank account. So you say, okay, I can invest more money and therefore make more money. And it's a cycle that repeats as a loop. So everything starts from the prices. And yes, as I said, if I didn't have the calculator, probably I would still be a slave. Of Sebastian.
And because we were working as well, like you said, we were like exchanging more time in there. That's why we didn't see the numbers going in red. And we didn't like care that much, because we were working 40, 50 hours every week each. So like, all right, it's not going, I mean, it doesn't feel bad, but it's bad because there's probably a few hours that we're not even paying ourselves. Like there's no managing hours, there's no roster hours, there's no hours that we take out of like just the normal cleaning too, because we have to, at the beginning, you have to finish work, come home and keep working. That's what you do. You just keep doing the rosters. You just keep answering the messages, whatever, sending invoices.
Yeah, 100%. Well, look, this has been an awesome episode, and I've learned a bit about business and about myself, even just from talking to you guys. And this has been awesome. I think a lot of people will find value in this. And something that I've been asking everyone to do that's come on here is just, give one piece of advice to someone that might be in the position that you were in before you started the business. So if you were, talking to yourself 3 years ago before you started, what would you say to that person? What advice would you give them?
For commercial and residential cleaning businesses, I would say do cold email. Like cold email, I think was the best thing that happened to my life so far in terms of finances. Because
cold outreach in general is really good for commercial. I'll say just cold calling, walking
cold
into
calling
places.
as well right now. Yes,
I'm cold calling right now.
But cold email is one of those things that you just set it up, press a button, and then you just chill and wait. So it's not something that you have to maintain, so to speak. You have to keep doing campaigns and everything. But if I went to the past and talked to myself, I would hand over this knowledge of do cold email. I would buy your course. I would ignore everything else, and I would just take the cold email information and just give it to myself. I think that'll do. Cold email.
Cool. And what about like a step above that, just from like a mindset, attitude standpoint? Is there any advice you give to someone that's like hesitant about starting or telling themselves that they don't, they can't do it or it's a bad idea?
I think for me at least, so cold email, is true, but what I'll say is like try stuff. I think at the beginning we need to like fail in order to learn and understand. And even if because I did say before that mentorship is such a good thing, but it doesn't matter how many mentors you listen to. If there's no action, like if you don't try shit, like if you just don't start doing and doing and doing and doing and doing, you're never gonna know what works for you. Because even if you listen to the best person in business ever, if you don't try it yourself and apply it into your own life and make it see, because we all have different capabilities and we have different personalities, and probably something works for you, but you're different than me. So if I do it, even if I do it the same way, it's probably not going to work the same way same way that it worked for you. But the thing is that you need to try it. We would never know that cold email was something that worked if we didn't invest $45,000 doing other stuff that didn't work, or we didn't spend hundreds of hours doing a lot of stuff that never worked, that never made us any money, that never got us anywhere. So I do believe like piece of like mindset thing is probably do stuff, like listen to people who have done it, like yourself, if it's the cleaning business or whatever, if it's like the industry that you want. Listen to the advice and follow like tons of advice. See what works for yourself. Because if you don't do stuff, you're never gonna know what works for you. Because I think that's it. Like just do stuff, like learn stuff for yourself. Never think, because the other day a girl asked us like, what is the best thing to do to grow your business? And it's like, I can tell you that it is, because if you ask, I think 100 business owners that are doing great in business, everyone's going to tell you a different answer. Someone's going to say, Google Ads. The other's going to say cold email. The other one's going to say, no, cold outreach or cold calling. At the end of the day, you're going to have to try and see what works for you and see the bests. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Well, I know you guys are pretty big on like the Spanish speaking social media as well. I've seen your videos. I don't understand a word of them, but it's cool. I love the energy in the videos and what you're doing. Where can everyone find you on social media if they want to follow you?
Well, we are on TikTok and Instagram and starting on YouTube. I guess you can just put it on the description or something. My Instagram handle is Hi David Gonzalez, Gonzalez Gonzalez.
I'm glad you remember how to spell your name. That's great. All right, cool. Well, I'll put the socials of these guys in the description of this podcast. This was an awesome chat. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Just a last question, because last question from us.
100%, yes.
Because I've seen your videos. What do you prefer? Because I've seen your videos, do you think Sombrero is better than GYG?
Oh, okay. This is probably the hardest question I've ever
Be
been
really
asked. Look,
careful, mate.
I'll answer this properly. So for a period of time, I was living off Zambrero. Like I was eating it literally 3 times a day, right? When I was really busy and working hard. So I would be having it 3 times a day. But I think I've become enlightened now. Like GYG has just a better range. They got more on the menu.
Yeah, right.
They've got like a thing on their website where it tells you like calories and macros and meals. Like I think GYG's also from a business standpoint, I love GYG's business model. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I've definitely converted.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to see if you're like Team GYG.
Yeah,
or something.
we are friends now. We can be
Okay,
friends,
good.
Jason.
To be completely honest, I don't know how anyone can be Team Zambrero after trying GYG. I was missing out my whole life.
Yeah, it's good. Sombrero, it feels more healthy, but GYG just tastes better.
That's the thing, yeah. Zambrero, they're good marketing. They make you think it's healthier and it's fresher and all this stuff. And GYG's marketing, it feels more like fast food, but it's actually better.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
All right. That was the last question, Jason. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
Oh, cool. Then that was probably the most important question of the episode, so I'm glad that got asked. But thank you so much, guys. This was really awesome. It's amazing to see what you've done. Like $500,000 in less than 3 years, a year in recurring revenue, and also the fact that you've doubled the business in like less than 6 months. It's insane. It's a testament to what you guys are doing and the work you're putting in. I'm sure this is just the beginning for you, and we'll talk again soon, and you'll be at 1 million. But I've definitely got to catch up with you guys, and we'll do some work. I need to get your hiring process right, so we're going to work on that next. But thank you so much, guys. I'll put the socials of Seb and David in the description if you want to follow them. And thanks for coming on the podcast to talk to me.
Thank you so much.
Jason.
Thank you for having us.